Hey guys, welcome back. I haven't posted something in a while, so I figured I'll start with this. This is the HVAC system for the MK4 Supra. I have decided to do the foam kit, and I was actually not wanting to do this at all just because it seems very complicated, and I figured, at this point, if I'm going to build this once, I want to make sure I get everything right. So I got this out. And just by looking at it, I'm kind of glad that I did take this out to do this. And the reason why is, look at this. It's already falling apart. Look at this inside. It's pretty much half of it already kind of come apart. The foam was all over the floor, unless that's my studio, which I don't think. And then everything is dirty. So if I had started this car down the road and I had turned this on, obviously everything is going to be all over the system. So kind of glad in a way that I'm planning on getting this rekit, taken apart and then resealed and everything. So, and I figured, why not record this process? I know Ryan Scott from Pure Performance, is it Pure Performance, done this. And I figured I'd do one too as well. Now the way I'm going to be doing is, as I am taking something out, I will show you exactly what pieces I'm taking out and how I took it out, this kind of way. So like, for example, just off the bat, I wanted to show you guys, this is how I'm going to be doing it. So this is the piece I'm planning on taking out. So there's one, there's two, and there's another one down here. So I'm going to take these 3 screws out, pop it out, and then leave the screws with it together, and then put it aside. And then the next piece that I'm planning on taking it apart would be this piece right here. Now this piece is a little weird. It seems like it's already cracked, but I don't really think it's cracked. I think that's just the way it is. So like this one's held by 4 screws, so it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. As you're taking it apart, make sure that you undo these plastic pieces, the harness piece as well. You can get underneath and you just basically use a clamp and then squeeze them together and pull it out. Just make sure you don't not try to cut this and stuff. Just try to pull it out just so that you can reuse and put it back the way it's supposed to be. And then another thing, as I'm recording this and showing you guys exactly which pieces I'm taking out and how many screws and stuff like that, what I'm going to be doing is taking pictures too as well. So I'm trying to do both at the same time. So, and then followed by 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this piece as well. There was another piece on top of it, which is probably in the car. It just sits on top of this. So there's 1 here, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, and then there's 2 more, I believe, here. 1 and 2, and I believe this has to be undone, taken out, and I haven't figured that out yet. So I probably have to squeeze this and pull this out, and then take all this piece out, and that should come off. So as I'm undoing this, again, 4 pieces here. I want to take this piece out. 4 screws here, 3 screws here, and then a couple screws here. So as I'm doing this, I'm gonna try to undo the harness as well. So there's a harness piece that goes all around, and I want to make sure that I, take some pictures before I start taking it apart. So just because I want to put it back the way it's supposed to be. And then a quick thing, when you try to take this whole HVAC system out, make sure that you are when you're trying to take it out. There's 2 plugs down here. One goes underneath here to that piece right there. You don't necessarily need to take it out in the car to get this whole HVAC system out. What you need to do is take this piece out. So the way I did it, and I was struggling with this plug in the car, and there was another plug, which is this one right here, and it's impossible to take this out in the car. So do not try to remove this in the car and try to take this out. If you have access and room for this, or try to get a long screwdriver, flat, you can squeeze this. So it's plugged in like this. You can squeeze this and pull it out, and then it's undone from the HVAC system or the harness piece in the car itself. So you really need to only take this out. Don't try to take this out and that out from this whole unit. Trust me, it's impossible unless you have really, really strong fingers and you're able to do it. Just a heads up. So only need to really take this out and just push with a long flathead, pull this out as you are, already have screws already taken apart. And there's like, I believe this one, and this one, and there's 2 on the bottom 2 or 3 on the bottom. There was another bar over here. I took some pictures. So it's like about 6 screws or so. And then in the engine bay, you do have to take out the 2 screws that are attached to this, and 2 screws attached to this piece right here, which is you have the coolant, and then you also have the AC stuff. So keep in mind when you're taking it apart, after you undo that whole thing and when you pull it out slowly, you are going to be challenged with trying to take this out, and just use a long flathead, push this out and take it out. And if you have more helping hands, even better. So that way that one person can hold this as you undo that and then wiggle it out and then slowly get it out. So it's doable, you know, taking it out if you already have the dash out. But if you have to do this to remove the dash and everything, good luck. And there is video online, I believe somebody taking out the dash and to do this. I think the original guy who made the kit. So all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this and then that piece, and then also that piece. And as I do all that, I'm gonna take some pictures and then make sure to understand how the harness is routed and everything, because again, this is everything from is gonna be taken apart and then cleaned, resealed, and put back together. So make sure you record every process, and I'm gonna do that for you as well. Now, quickly, did forget to mention, do grab a couple of tools, pliers and scrapers. This is for the foam to take out the old foams and stuff. Some like nice bit kit for the screws, so like an extension. And I ended up buying this little drill thingy from Home Depot. So to not manually take out the screws. The screws are very easy to take out. Just a heads up. This one I haven't touched, so like, if I turn this by hand, it'll come out right away. So let's see. So it comes out right away. So it's very easy. It's not like these are stuck in there, but do be careful, because these screws are in there since the car was built. So they're very old and in there. So just be careful as you're taking it out. You're not trying to use an impact screw, the drill, and all that stuff. I think this one's not really an impact. It's just the screwdriver. So that makes sense. So, and then I do have a sandwich bags and a pan and all that stuff, an extra charger. And then this I just bought recently just for cleaning and all that stuff. So all the dirt and stuff, and napkins and stuff like that. So just keep in mind for that. And yeah, that's pretty much it that I wanted to talk about. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started and see how far we get. All right, so I got those 2 pieces that I mentioned, the bracket piece right here. And then I did get this piece out, which goes like this. Holds the harness piece, harness on here and here. So what I did was I just pulled this out. It comes off after you unscrew it, and I did put the screws back in there. So just, if you can put the screws back in there, just put it in there and just put it through a hand turn it. Don't try to use the drill or screwdriver or anything like that. Don't force it in there. Then you're just gonna be cross threading, and then end up being more big of an issue than it should be. So just hand tight up, put in there and just turn it, and then they're in there just enough. So now I wanted to show you guys this piece. Let me see if I can do this with one hand. There's a harness piece that goes underneath as a wraps around. As you can see, there's a clip here. So this doesn't come out. So that tells me it needs to be undone by a clip. So let me see if I can do it. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna break this. So let me unrecord. All right, so I needed 2 hands. Wait, did I got it? Okay, I don't know what the hell that was. Maybe that was just to force it in there and hold it. So there you go. I don't know what exactly the sensor is. Probably like a temp sensor, like an auto read. When I put it on auto, so that's probably what that is. So it goes in there, and then I guess you just stick this in there, and then it holds that piece in there by that little 2 pieces. These pieces right here is probably like a spring. So make sure you don't lose this. It goes there. So harness is almost out. So the next step, what I'm gonna do is I forgot to take this out. So I'm gonna first figure this out because this is all attached. Then I gotta get this harness piece out, which the cable's out, but there's a piece that goes inside. So I think you have to take apart this top piece in order to get the inside of that. So just leave it on the side. And then also I gotta undo this one. I just had to grab some sharp piece, I don't know, pick to get in there and undo this one. And then what I'm about to do is I'm gonna take some pictures and take these 3 screws out, which is this one, and this one. So this piece will come off, and I believe once I take this screw out and as well this, and I don't think this one's actually attached to anything because I looked underneath. So what I'm gonna do is take a couple of these out, take this cap out, and this should come out. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take this in the garage and put it in the garage because I think there might be some fluid in here, and I'm in my office, so I'm not trying to drop some coolant in here. So let me take these pieces out and let me work on that and then follow up on that. All right, as I took that plastic piece out that's set on top of this, I realized that this is all connected, and for me to to take this out, I do not want to disconnect this piece here. I feel like the second I start to, this piece right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this screw out, this one, and I believe this one, this should pop out along with these 2. Then this one and this one, you do not need to, because these are basically like a V-band to clamp this, what is this, actuator or something like that, the coolant to flow into the heated core or opens up or something for the heat. So I'm just gonna take all these pieces all at once and take it out. Did take some pictures, but I'm gonna take more pictures just as a precaution. So again, this screw, there's 3 here that holds this bracket, and then there's a 4th one here, and then 1, 2, I believe that's it. So if I end up finding more, I'll record, but that's what I'm gonna do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You do not need to take this one out, and this one out, because those are the 3 V-bands holding these lines to the heater core and then to the heater core. Cool? Okay, so I undid the screws, like I mentioned, and then this just goes back like this, right? Screw, and then this piece just goes down here. You just may have to wiggle this out of the way to get it in there. I just want to show you guys how everything goes back on, right? So screws, I did on everything. And what you need to do is go ahead and lift this, turn this a little bit. You may have to wiggle it out. Can't do it with one hand now. There you go. And then this comes out. So I'm gonna go ahead, take this out completely, and then undo this so this piece comes out, and then I'll put that aside. This goes in the garage just in case there's any coolant. And then I'll inspect it, get all these foam stuff out, and then when I'm ready to install it, I might run some water through it, make sure there's no clogs or anything like that in it. And then that's that. And I might just carefully take this out, remove it, and so that way that when I'm cleaning it and putting the foam on, it's not in the way. So that's how you take that piece out. All right, so now since that heated core is out of the way, the bracket piece is out of the way, which is right there, I went to go try to take this piece out, and guess what this does? So basically flaps, and then of course I touch it and this is falling apart. I figured I'd try to see if I could pull it out. So there's, okay, now I'm just making a mess. So this all needs to come out, and I need to figure out how to take this out because there is a screw there. So I guess when I get to come to that part, I'll explain. But in the meantime, I'm trying to start taking this apart. There is some mess here, so I need to be careful with this and possibly vacuum. And then I gotta figure out this all, because I do have to, I remember Scott's video. By the way, I said pure performance, actually pure function. So apologize. So I think this actually just pops out. I don't think there's screws in there, so I gotta figure out how to carefully pull these out. And I believe there's 3 different kinds. There's one here, and then one here, and I don't think there's one on this side. So yeah, if I recall, there were 3. So, and I believe they're different sizes. So from Scott's video. So keep that in mind. And then this, I think I can just take out. I don't know what the hell this is exactly, the hose for. So I'm gonna take that out and then inspect, and then I'll follow up in a second once I start taking that apart. Once I take that apart and give you guys more update. All right, so this piece is out. You may have to put some force to it once you get it out. You may have to, get a little rough with it and try to pull this out because this is kind of glued on here. Just careful with it. These pieces are all coming out. And then I decided to take this piece out. There's 4 screws here. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 1 and 5. So you may have to lift this up to just try to get underneath there. Now this piece, for some reason, is not coming out at all, and I'm afraid I'm gonna break it if I use too much force. And I've tried to use a pick and all that stuff, and it's not coming out. So I decided to just take this out and see what's under behind this door. Okay, the door doesn't want to open. So let me wiggle with it, and then hopefully I can get this whole harness piece moved aside, and so that way we can start tackling the sides and underneath, and then open this thing up. All right, so I found out that this is actually clipped on here, and you can't really force this pieces up, or you're gonna break all these tabs on here. So what you need to do is flip this over, and I believe there's a piece all down here that needs to be removed. So let me see. There's a bunch of screws down here. There's one right there, and I believe one right there, one right there, and I believe there's another one right there. So I'm gonna need to start taking apart all these plastic pieces down here. I believe this is the leg piece, for the passenger side. This piece, and also this piece I need to take out. So this one is right here. It's got 1 screw here. Just need to undo this. So basically just push this plastic piece down, and then this just comes out. And then there's a screw down here that you need to take out, and this should hopefully come out. And then I'll tackle that little piece. I'll flip it over and show you guys how to take those out, and then undo that plastic piece so that piece can come out. All right, couple of things, guys. Once you take this piece out, right? Oh, shit. Once you take these pieces out, understand, like, some of these screws, a lot of these screws are all the same length and all that stuff. Some may look smaller than the other one, but they might be the same, right? So this one came off from like all these side pieces, and we'll talk about this shortly. So make sure you write down exactly where they're coming off from and put it aside. Like this 3 pieces, they came off from here. And a lot of these are almost the same. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is some are not. So like this piece right here, let me focus. It's like an actual screw compared to this one, right? It looks different. This actually goes on here, and I don't even think I needed to take this out. But again, I'll put this back on here. Just be careful because you may end up damaging this if you're using the gun and stuff like that. So I might just use a screwdriver and just do it by hand and get that back in there, so that way that I'm not messing up the threads. And so keep in mind of that when you're taking it apart, and take notes on that. And then make sure where all the stuff goes. So those go all the way there. Those, I believe, came from the top for the white piece. So I'll just group them together. And then I gotta make sure I make a note for that and all that stuff. And a lot of these are by themselves, so I try to put them all. Oh, that's another piece is different that I've noticed. So this piece, and then also I by accident taken these screws out, and they're very thin and long, just like this. So make sure you keep mindful of that. Cool. So let's talk about this. I ended that video there real quick, so I was probably just gonna add on. So what did I take apart? Oh, I took apart that piece, the bottom piece, and all this started to happen. And again, you may need to keep a vacuum with you. If you're doing this in the garage, if you're making a mess and you don't really care, that's great. Now, I have this in my office, and this is not good because I have to vacuum this off somehow. and this is all in there, and I don't know if this just pops out, so I gotta take this out. See, I still don't know what the hell this connects to. So this, oh shit, I gotta take this out. So let me take this out, let me take that piece out, and let me see if I can wiggle this out. Not on camera, obviously, because there's so much going on here, and I wanna make sure that I can vacuum this before I come, you know, put it on the floor or something like that. So I do have a little vacuum, which that one sucks right now. So let me do this and then I'll get back. So that piece is out. So I took that top piece out and moved that aside a little bit to understand what the hell this is connected to. This is just basically plastic pieces. To be honest, they were just in there. So I wonder if this is just like a line to feel the coolness of that piece. So I vacuumed. Might have to go outside and just blow it a little bit and clean it out. But this top piece, I know in this kit, this top piece is in there for it to wrap, but this was actually pretty good. So I'm probably not gonna mess around, but I am probably gonna blow out all this dirt and everything that's on here carefully, and then that's gonna go back in there. So I'm pretty much half of this taken apart. And then I still gotta start figuring out how to take a lot of this stuff out. So I'm probably gonna start here and then get this piece out, and then I can open it up and then go from there. So I might take this out, take pictures on this, take this piece out so this is out of the way. I believe this is for the motor. And then take these screws out, and I think this can just come out. And then of course the thing is very dirty, so that's what I'll do. So it's 1, 2, 3 screws, and then 1, 2, 3, 3 screws, and it should pop out. So, but take some pictures and take this out, and then see what else I want to talk about on that side before I start taking it apart. So quickly, I got this out. Like I said, there were 3 screws. I don't know what the hell this piece is exactly. So it looks like that. It's very dirty, right? And then these were 3 screws as well. Now be mindful. What the hell did I do with that? This is a different thread. Let me see if I can focus. You see that? It's like a star, basically. So you can use a flathead, as you can see. I ended up using something like this, like a star bit. I can't even focus. Right? So again, I literally didn't even try. So you can use a flathead and turn these by hand, so you don't have to use a lot of force, unless if yours is a little stuck, then good luck. So this is all out. Now I gotta figure out everything on this side, and so far this looks like a very simple, as I'm talking and recording, it's very simple stuff to take out, but let's see how everything goes back on after I clean it. But majority of it, whatever I've taken out, has been very easy task. So today I'm hoping that I can at least get all this out and open this up, and so tomorrow I can start cleaning it and start opening up this bag so I can start taking apart the foam, the old foam, and start gluing the new one, and then we should be good to go. And then I'm sure the glue part is going to be coming up. The question, what am I using? I think that's still in the garage. So when I come to that part to have a conversation, I'll share with you guys, okay? All right, so I started taking this apart without explaining what I'm starting to do. So I quickly took that piece out, the plastic piece. Shit. So it goes like, and of course it goes like this. And there's a screw. So I took that out, and of course that falls out. Let me fix this. So this one is 3 screws like this, right? Now there is a piece back here, as you can tell. See that? Goes into this piece right here. So I just undid 3 screws, and it starts to look like that. Now I gotta figure out if I can just pull this out and then undo this, and then undo this one. And I wonder if this is held by this bracket here, which I think I might have to undo this one. So I'm gonna have to take a picture here. So that motor, this is basically a motor to open these flaps. So there's a flap here, there's a flap here and here. So this is all for directional. So if you want it on your face, leg, or both. So I'm gonna take some pictures and I think undo this and then put a flathead and push this out. And I think the same concept. Just got to be very careful and then take this out as well. So I think they should all come out. I think if I take this and take this out, they should automatically pop out. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna record, I'm gonna take some pictures, do that. And then once that comes out, I think I take this bracket out. And then I think I can take all the screws out on all over. I think, yeah, all over. And I think I can just open this up and I think I'm done. I think I just have to, yeah, I gotta figure out these flaps, the inside one. And once I figure that out, and I think I'm good. I think I can start cleaning this and start putting it back together. So it's fairly simple, actually. All right, so I took a couple of these brackets out and then that white piece, and make sure you number them. So the bottom one goes like this, and it's for this big fat one. And when you pull it out, again, you got to put a flathead and slowly wiggle it and it pops out, right? Now, same thing for this one. I put this as 2, like my ghetto, we are horrible 2, because I couldn't write. So I'll probably mark it over here somewhere. Same thing, but the second I did that, this comes out. So careful to understand how this goes back on. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead, do the same thing. I take this piece out. I gotta know how this all goes back. And then same thing, plier, pull this out, and then this whole bracket out. And I think I am ready to open this up. All right, so the last piece I got left to do is figuring out this this long piece. And I think what I need to do is undo this. And then I think same thing, I gotta wiggle this out. Maybe that's clipped in, so I might have to use a flathead in there or pick and get in there. And then this just comes out like that. So this is already out, right? So might not even need to take this out. Or no, do need to take this out and then take this out, because I think this is another flap that's controlled. So, and there's a screw right here that I'm gonna have to undo, because that way that on the top I can just pull it out. I think that's how it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna give that a try. If that works, we'll probably show you, I'll probably show you everything taken apart. If that doesn't work, we'll talk about it more. All right, guys, so you do have to take these 2 pieces out with the screws. Sorry. So they're pretty in there, so be careful when you're putting a screwdriver. They may strip. I started kind of stripping one of them, but I got lucky with the bit and was able to get it out. So as you can see, this is open, right? Flap is moving around, and as you can tell, I made a huge mess coming out already. So I started taking apart the screws for this, everything, and I've been stuck for a little bit because everything is loose, right? As you can tell. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me why in the middle it's like stuck. So I thought you had to push these out, this one and this one, like in with a hammer or something, or maybe just tap it in and it'll just pop out. Maybe that's what's holding it. Then I looked in here like an idiot, and you see that? It's nothing in there. And I'm thinking like, oh, it's probably just a plastic piece melted in there. And I got a long screwdriver, Philip one, and stuck it in there and turn it. Nothing's coming out. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? Still, that's not working. Nothing's working. And my dumbass was looking in the wrong place. There is a screw. It's a long one. So that it is holding up everything here. So once I undo that, this should all come out. So I gotta make sure to take pictures how the flaps go on, and I already taken a picture how this goes on. So this is how it looks on the bottom, right? So there was a black piece that I took out from here, and this is moving around. I just don't know why it's not popping out. So I'll figure that out in a little bit, but let me undo this one screw right now, and then I'll open this up and then understand how the flaps goes. Because once I take some pictures and stuff, I'll show you the inside of it, and I'll take that one flap out, and I think we should be good to go for today. Because this literally took me, what, 2 hours? I started around 8:30. So, and me recording, talking, and taking pictures and making sure, and going up and down and grabbing more tools from the garage. So it's not bad. It's the first time doing it. And then it'll be fun when I start putting all this back together. See how that goes. All right, so this is pretty much half apart, and the reason why I wanted to record, I stopped here and we wanted to record, is there's a plastic piece here. It's like a glue, basically. This is where that AC piece goes. So when you take it apart, if it's not coming out for a reason, and it's because of this piece right here, so you're just gonna have to cut this right here. It's basically under heat, foam and stuff, and it'll come with the kit, I think. So when you put the piece back together, right? So let me fix the camera a little bit. There's a plastic, there's a foam piece here that's glued on here. It keeps the piece together. When you put everything, start to put together everything, I believe it's in that little kit, is once this all goes back on, clamps together with the screws and stuff, you gotta go in there and put this in there so it's glued together. It's for the AC piece, so it's insulated properly. So that's basically the insulation. So you do have to cut that piece out in order to get this piece out. Now I do have to, so let me take that apart, and then, you know what, hold on. Let me do this. And use this flathead. The reason why I wanted to record this is because this piece right here, I want to make sure I record how they go back on, right? So inwards, when they meet, the foam goes on, right? So there's a thin one and there's a fat one. So make sure how they go on. So I want to show you guys how they look, and this just pops out like that. So I'm gonna take some pictures, but inwards is thin, outwards, that's how, oh no, I'm sorry. Inward is fat, outwards is thin. Inward is fat, outward, if there is a foam, yeah, there is a foam here, so it's thin. So keep in mind, I'm gonna take pictures of this for my records, and then I believe this, I don't know what the hell's going on with this one. So I gotta wiggle this out and get this out. And then, yeah, this is ready to get cleaned up. That's a little clean. The outside part I need to clean out. The inside part here, I gotta wash it, clean it, and get that insulation piece out off that thing. And I think once I do these pieces and put them all back together, and this one back here, in here, then I think I can go ahead and start putting everything else after I screw this piece back together, and everything else is basically on the outside. So fairly easy to take apart. We'll see what the challenges I'll run into putting everything back. I took a bunch of pictures of how everything goes on. So I'm hoping that I'll go back to the pictures and put everything back on the way it's supposed to be. So stay tuned for that.